Hey everyone, this is Brian, the host of Inner Demons, the Ghost Rider podcast. And since 2017, Inner Demons has been the best place on the web for news, reviews, and regular discussion with our listeners about Marvel's Spirit of Vengeance, Ghost Rider. You can find us on Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and many other podcast catchers, as well as on Twitter at InnerDemonsGR. Remember, listening to your inner demons is not always a bad thing. Ride on.
See this episode's show notes for our unique promo code to get up to 2 months of free podcasting service with Libsyn when you sign up for a new account. Get your show on Apple and Spotify, get helpful stats, and all the support you need to sound your very best.
This is Greg Smallwood, and you're listening to Into the Night, a Moon Knight podcast.
Yes, welcome back, loony listeners. You are listening to Into the Night, the Moon Knight podcast. This is episode 336, and you are with your High Priest of Khonshu, Rebecca.
Hi.
Hello, how you going?
Yeah, good,
Very
good. Yeah.
A busy Rebecca, but still has some time. We have a new comic book, Rebecca. It's going to get even busier because
Yeah,
gosh,
this
we've
is
got
all
more and more Moon Knight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just looking what's next week. I was like, okay, and like obviously
Yeah.
we have a podcast in the middle. So
Exactly. It feels like the Disney show all over again. You know, with the
yeah, except
episode every
it's
week.
yeah, except this time we have like sometimes two in a week. Yeah, you know.
So fear not, loonies. We will try to cover it as quickly and as well as we can. This episode, of course, we're looking at a Moonshine, so another new issue for Moon Knight.
Yes.
Woohoo! Moon Knight, City of the Dead, issue 2. Rebecca, between that and the series and annuals and appearances, we're so blessed. Praise Khonshu.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of Moon Knight. Well, you know, you say that, but one of the upcoming story arcs is the death of Moon Knight. So, you know, I'm not gonna keep my praise of Khonshu reined in until I've seen exactly what's happening. You know.
How do you feel about that? I was chatting with a couple of other podcasters yesterday about the death of, and you know, not that long ago we had the death of Doctor Strange. All this is just kind of par for the course for me. I'm very quietly confident. I'm rubbing my fingernails, you know, blowing them and rubbing them on my. This is gonna just pass, you know.
I hope so. I hope so.
Yeah.
I have no like Moon Knight is clearly a legacy title, even though we've not had it as a legacy character before. I mean, we have because we've had Tabby in 2099. We've seen in Serpent War some of the old, you know, they've started to bring in
Yeah.
the previous Moon Knight. So we kind of have, I mean, up front and really center, we've not had a real change of the guard. Like we've had it hinted at.
Yeah.
We've seen old ones. We've seen him go to the hall where all the old Moon
Mhm.
Knights are. Um, so you know, like, obviously, I feel very invested in Mark.
Mhm.
There's a little bit of sadness. Like, say, if he does pass on the mantle, which I generally have no objection to with other characters, and I don't really with Moon Knight. If it's an engaging story that I like, they can make me like almost any replacement. There's a little bit of I feel a little bit regret about losing potentially a Jewish character.
Mhm.
Potentially, you know, losing a DID character that, well, just as the representation's starting to get better.
Mhm.
If they were to pass on the mantle, if it's a standard comics, Mark's dead for a little while, we'll have some fun with Hunter's Moon. we'll do a bit of a who can be replacements or who's replacing him. You know, like Daredevil always gets like
Yeah.
random replacements.
Yeah.
Or if it's a proper legacy handover, like, you know, like I think for me it would be best if it was. I hope there's a good reason for it. Like, I mean, obviously the big
Mhm.
fight with Black Spectre is what we're building to, and that's probably going to be it. But I hope there's a reason why Khonshu can't just resurrect him if it is Mark. Like, if there is
Yeah.
a handover, like I hope we get a reason we can all understand and be happy with. Like, I don't know why I'm feeling a little bit more queasy about this one than I have for others. I mean, look, I mean,
Yeah.
I was very positive about Iron Fist moving to pay, and then it
Mhm.
didn't. So, and I didn't like that. So I think, yeah, I mean, I'm up for it, but with a
Yeah.
little bit of being aware of what we might lose at the same time. And it's
Yeah.
not just holding on to Mark as such. It's the representation that's starting to get
Yes.
better. It's you know, trying to that we just had a run that kind of pulls so much together, um that it feels like a shame to sort of lose him. But like, we all know that in the hands of the right creators, any story can be good.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I like to approach these things positively. So I'm up for
Mhm.
it.
Yeah.
I hope it's interesting to me. So
I, I'm I'm smirking, Rebecca, because you touched upon it. There was I was going to ask you a potentially touchy subject about Iron Fist. You know, and
I
and
you know, I was of all the Iron Fist people that we were chatting about, I was like, yeah, get in like Paige, she's
mm,
young, she's Asian, she's already got an Iron Fist. It's
oh,
cool.
not her. How about
That's what
Swordsman?
I mean. It's like they just like
Oh, okay. Yeah.
switched
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
and gave it
Yeah.
to Swordmaster, like
Mm,
who
Swordmaster's right. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, look, yeah, I
Yeah.
just it was just the story was told really randomly. Like it was not handled great, and I don't necessarily mean by the creative teams. I just mean there was an element of randomness that just
Yeah.
felt like, oh, we'll just chuck it on this guy because we want to make him slightly more high profile. But there was no real reason to it. That was just like it was
Mm,
just there, and there was no it just felt like such a loss when you already have this relationship you've established,
yeah.
and the one that's up and coming is already like loved, you know, well liked by
Mm,
fans, female, Asian, so
yeah.
ticks a few boxes there. Danny has a relationship with her, so he can be a
Hmm.
mentor.
Yeah.
um and so I find that one was a bit of a fumble, like just the
Yeah.
way it sort of turned out. But in general, I'm pretty, you know, like in
Mm,
general, I'm always up for anything. I'll give it a go. And
okay.
I
Well,
feel the same about this, you know.
yeah. I think the big difference though here is, I mean, it sounded like, and I don't want to delve too much into Iron Fist. I mean, you've got an awesome podcast already that discusses that. But it seemed like it was a decision from like above for them
Yeah.
to do that, and the writers had to work their way through it. It could very well be the same case with the death of Mark, but at least we have the same writer, Jed McKay, that has
Right,
taken
and
him through.
we've
So
had like what
yeah,
28, 29 issues or 30
mm,
issues before we get to that. So like,
yeah,
um whereas with Iron Fist, it was like, here's a mini for why they've lost the Iron Fist. Normally, you'd
yeah,
find them get it again after that, and then another mini with the guy who's already got it. And it's just like there was a bit of connective tissue in there
yeah,
that would have
yeah,
been made that an easier transition. And who knows what I mean? Look, the guy's barely been in comics since, so who knows? You know, like
yeah.
I hope that whatever happens with Moon Knight, it's the start of another reasonably length run that we get to
Yes.
know the new Moon Knight, and
Yeah.
if it's not like badder, but even then I'd say we don't know
Mm.
him that well. But you know, like
Yeah.
I just hope we get to know him, and you know, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
Him or her. Like,
Him or
sorry,
her.
him, her, or
Yeah.
they.
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly. And
apologies, everyone. I should have been better about that. I guess I was just thinking about Barda and that little
yeah.
kid from City of the Dead, who are my two
Yes. Two
my
front runners
my
for.
two front runners right now. So they're both
Yeah, I mean, of course there would be nerves as well, as you say, because of the stuff that Jet has built up, and if it, absolutely to potentially be washed away. But I'm kind of confident
Oh my
that
god, if
Jed
it's Reese,
won't
that
do
would
that.
be amazing.
Oh wow,
I'm gonna add another
a
random.
vampiric like Moon
Why
Knight.
not?
That's cool.
She's
Yeah,
already got that cool
absolutely.
tension with Butter, you know?
Yeah, that's true. Well, and it would be the ultimate contradiction, wouldn't it? Because they've actually built up how like Moon Knight is almost like an arch nemesis to
Yeah, yeah.
vampires now as
He's not
well. Like,
he's not great on vampires, so
yeah.
better on
So that would
werewolves,
be
no. But like, who knows? Like, I'm up for it. Let's see what
yeah,
happens.
biggest slap in the face to Khonshu. That would be pretty funny. Yeah. You just reminded me as well, Rebecca. I don't have the. Of course, Looney listeners, we are broadcasting live because this is a new comic book, so you can check us out on all the social media platforms. Um, I did kind of try to get together some slides, but you reminded me, Rebecca, there were a whole heap of variants released. I'm assuming to celebrate the upcoming death of Moon Knight.
Commemorate, let's say. Commemorate.
Commemorate,
Yeah, let's
commemorate.
we
Yeah,
don't celebrate deaths, but yes.
no,
I've got them. Well, I've got
you
the
got that.
solicits in front of me, so I can. There's
Okay,
just tons of them. Like, if you've got the
there
money to
are.
pay for them all, like, I love you. Many of them are extremely good. Like, many of them
Yeah.
are very good. And
Well,
if I had
what are
unlimited resources, I would buy the
mhm.
lot.
Well, give us a handful of yours. I mean, I know that we've talked about a couple of them, like on
Yeah,
Discord as well.
yeah. So
Um,
like, I am going to be buying the Fantastic Four one.
that looks good, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm a little bit concerned about the X-Men logo in the background, but I'm trying not to think about that.
Okay.
Caused a massive furor on Twitter today. If you're in my Twitter
Really?
circles, yeah, people getting very angry about is Mark going to be a mutant? It's like, I just think I don't know why the
Oh,
X-Men logo is there, but it's Ben Grimm and Mark, and
yes.
I'm going to be buying that one for my Jewish representation cover.
Nice.
Punisher would be my second choice. That's
Oh, I don't think I've seen that one.
Werewolf by
Um,
Night and and
okay.
Mark Moon Knight. Let's have another
Mhm.
quick flick. You would obviously buy
Come
the
on,
Spider Woman,
the
right?
Spider Woman one is looking really good. I don't have the artist's name in my
Yeah,
mind, but
I'll get
very
there when I
cool.
get there.
It could
Miles
be
Morales has actually got
yeah.
Werewolf by Night. Mine might just be a
Okay.
werewolf, but it's a werewolf. The Punisher.
Mhm.
Let's have a quick look. Spider
Can I mention
Woman
the
is
trunks, Rebecca? The
the
trunks. They
trunks.
kind of
I'm just
enamored you with the
Kyle
variants.
New.
Oh, Kyle. Oh, no, no, who
Kyle
was it?
New. I don't know how to pronounce. Sorry, but that's the
Mhm.
Spider Woman. Yeah, the Spider Woman one. He's in speedos, which just makes me laugh.
He's
I mean,
in
not just in
Anti
speedos. He's
Smugglers.
in such a he's in such a skin tight white outfit. And he's got like a
Yeah.
big gold wrestling belt on, and then like Batman
Oh,
trunks,
careful. That's a big something. Thank you. The big gold wrestling
wrestling
thing.
belt.
Yes.
But it
Belts, yeah.
looks good. Like, I'm not mocking it. I actually think it's a good one. I'm sure Ray will buy it when he gets his Spider Woman.
Absolutely. He's bulging, Rebecca.
He's. I'm not
Muscle,
going there.
the muscles. They're just saying he's
Um,
ripped.
the White Widow one is Declan Shalvey, so that's a Mr.
Oh,
Knight one,
very nice.
which
Cool.
is quite funny because he's in the white suit for a comic called White Widow.
Yeah, pretty
So
cool.
I appreciate that. Let's have a look. The Avengers is a cute one with him on a lamppost with the West Coast Avengers poster behind him.
Oh, that's a really nice one with the really nice colors,
Yeah,
like
it's really
pink and
nice
purple.
colors. The
Yeah, yeah.
Scarlet Witch one I would absolutely buy. Actually, it might be my second one.
Oh, I
It's
might.
Scarlet Witch with a gun and Moon Knight on the ground, and it's clearly it's a tribute to the famous stained glass Scarlet cover
Ah,
with the
cool.
face of the moon behind.
Nice.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Nice. Okay, I'm gonna get that one.
That one is Mark Aspinall.
Mhm.
So I really like that one. When they're up for sale, I might have to debate how much money I have for that one.
Yeah, it depends
Uh,
on if they're incentive covers as well. I'm not
I
sure
don't
if
think
they're
they
like 1 to
are,
10.
but
Okay. Yeah.
it'll just
Cool.
depend how much your comic shop buys them, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, but you should be able to pre-order them. They don't say they're incentive ones.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm
Yeah,
getting that
I
Scarlet
think they're
Witch one.
probably my favorites, but there's like tons of them.
Hmm.
There's one with
It's gonna be like
Bullseye. There's one.
32 of them again. You
Yeah,
know,
there's so
they did that for
many.
issue 1, so
Yeah.
mm. And I hope people buy them. Like, I'm really hoping we
I'm
can.
sure people will all pick their favorites. I mean, I'm
Mm,
guessing I'll probably I want to get the Fantastic Four one, but now I really want the Punisher one as well. But I don't really want. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. Punisher is not really a comic I generally follow. It's right.
Yeah.
Which was the one
Well,
I
I
just
mean,
said I liked. So I don't know. I'll get that
as
one
you said,
maybe at
though,
the end.
as you said, in the trade, they'll probably have them all anyway, so you can.
I hope so. Oh, that's a good point.
Mm,
I wonder if they will.
mm.
I
Have
don't
they?
want to
Did
buy
they?
a
They've usually
Knights
done
End
them.
trade. Yeah, no, they usually do. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and the Scarlet Witch one. I think I might buy that one.
I might get the Scarlet Witch one and Spider Woman, and
Yeah.
the Fantastic Four one is really good.
I
So,
mean, I'm definitely getting that
and
one.
the
It's Alex
Avengers one. I
Maleev
like
as well, I
those.
should say, the
Yeah,
Fantastic Four one.
yeah.
So, like, you've all seen how he does Moon Knight. So,
Mm.
yeah, that's our
Yeah,
big news this week, I think.
yeah. So
The Captain
all kind of.
America one's a bit weird. It's like
Oh, what is that?
Marlene putting
Oh,
Mark
okay.
down dead in front of the statue of Khonshu, but
Oh,
it's by Bjorn Barends.
he's oh, they,
It's good.
yeah.
It's just a
Very
little bit.
hyper
It's
realistic,
completely.
right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It almost
Yeah.
looks like they're sort of
Cool.
claymation figures.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so it's really from a distance I really like it, but I think I'd buy the more
From a
stylistic one.
distance.
No, I mean like I don't know if I like them looking so realistic.
Okay.
I'm not
Okay.
used to
Yeah.
it
If
for
you
comic covers,
squint the
but that was
eyes.
originally the one that I was like, oh no, and then having looked at the other one anyway,
Yeah.
I'm not going to defend my aesthetic choices.
Well, I mean, as you can hear, Loonies, there are like it's just a treasure trove of variants. Pick yours. Even the regular cover looks. I'm sure it's going to be very good.
Bleeding
I've got
us
to get the
dry
regular.
before Moon Knight dies.
Oh no!
No,
And then
but
he
they
comes
are.
back
I've never.
saying,
I don't
"Yeah,
think I've often seen a series of variant covers where I've pretty much liked all of them. So
very cool."
yeah. So
And
we're kind of blessed there.
yeah, and I think off the back of the success of Jed McKay, I don't think we'll have a long wait before. I mean, before another series pops up,
I
an
mean, look,
ongoing. I'm pretty.
we've got this, we've got City of the Dead, and we
Yeah,
had the What If, we've got Strange Academy, Moon Knight. Like
that's
if
right.
they're we
That's
had the
right.
Moon Knight annual. They're throwing so much at Moon Knight. I would hope that
Yeah.
there's not much of a gap,
Mm,
especially if we are getting a change of hero.
yeah. Absolutely. So yeah, plenty there. I do have some other slides, but I'll wait until we get into our moonshine segment, Rebecca. Anything else by way of Moon Knight? I can't really think of
I can't.
anything.
That's really the big news, isn't it?
It's really old news. I just came across, and forgive me for people out there as well. Just have to indulge me, Rebecca. Do you play Legendary? Like, have you played
No,
Legendary?
no.
Okay. Well, there's an expansion I came across, and it's got Spider Woman, Spider Man, and Moon Knight.
Oh my
It's like,
god,
yeah,
that's like dream.
that's got to be, yeah. So anyway, just wanted to call that out. If anyone's got it, well done. It's still available out there. That's a bit of news I've got. Uh, shall we head off to a Moonshine, Rebecca?
Let's do it.
Yes, as I mentioned, it is a Moonshine, and again, we're going to do Midnight City of the Dead, issue 2, Hearts of Fire, Hearts
What's
on
on
Fire,
fire? Yeah, I don't want to
Hearts
tell you
on,
got the name wrong.
yeah,
It's close.
Hearts on Fire. Uh, so yeah, this is going to be good. Now I don't have, gosh, I'm so silly. Don't have the details with me, but I do have some of the variant covers for it before we crack on to the actual.
That's that the no, that's nice.
Yeah, let me see if I can get the whole. Oh yeah, that's better.
Yeah, that's the main one, isn't it?
Yeah, so that's the main issue cover. Um, and then we also have this one's pretty cool. This is a 1 to 10 incentive cover, and this is by Ferreira as well. And
Oh,
it's
the
a little,
design variant.
yeah, a little bit of a peek behind the curtain to get. I mean, obviously, the costume of Scarlet Scarab was shown in the TV show, but I guess a few tweaks here and there. Rebecca, did you notice many tweaks? I mean, I wasn't really looking.
Not really.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's some tweaks to the color and
yeah,
details
yeah. The
to
color
make
looks
it make
looks
it
like it. Yeah,
work better in a comic.
maybe the torso as well. I can't remember it from the TV. This one, of course, Bill Sienkiewicz. This looks pretty cool, nice and dark and gloomy and eerie.
It's all right. He's a talented guy.
He can
He
he's got a
come
bit
back
it.
and do some more on Moon Knight.
Yeah, he's done well, the young fella.
Yeah, I feel
Um,
like, up and
no,
comer,
just was they called Stormbreaker?
Stormbreaker.
Um,
It'd
no,
be
this
so
is
funny
fantastic.
if he ever got a Stormbreaker title. I think the world might.
Now, what do I need to do to get one? He said,
Yeah.
say. But brilliant here. So for those that are familiar,
It's
just Moon
beautiful.
Knight, just kind of in profile, with Khonshu in the background, but it's really dark and ash colored,
I
and
would say they're
he's
both
glowing.
dabbing, but they're not dabbing.
They're dabbing. They are. I'm gonna
They're
say
not
like
though,
them
because
dabbing
it's
now.
not quite right. But like you could
Okay.
pretend they are if you wanted to be
No.
me and being stupid.
Come on, tomato, tomato. Come on,
Yeah.
they're dabbing. And there is
Ooh,
a.
whose
This
is
is
this
this.
one?
Yeah, I've got to check out. There are two versions of this. There's the Virgin cover, like for it, so textless and all that. And this one. So if you bear with me, Rebecca, I'm going to try and pull this. I'm just going to get some details because
I
I
love
should have
it.
done this. It's good, isn't it?
Mm.
So, and let me give fair credit to the original, the regular cover, which I think is by Ferreira as well.
I
Let
think
me
it's Rob
just.
Rice.
Oh, Rod Reese.
Yeah,
Rod
Rod
Reese.
Reese. Rod Reese.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Sorry,
I can
Rod.
see his signature on it, so
Oh,
I'm gonna
fantastic.
go with
Oh,
that. But I'm
good
looking at it
call.
a much bigger like set
Yeah,
view.
no worries. No, that's fair enough. I'm glad someone's on the ball. We got the 1 to 10, as we said, the design variant Ferreira. That's a 1 to 10. The Bill Sienkiewicz is a 1 to 25, so it is an incentive ratio variant, whatever you call them. And this other one, Rebecca, that is on the screen, Besh, Besch.
Oh, Rose Besh.
Rose Besh. Oh, okay, very cool. Colorful, very kind of cosmic. Looks more cosmic to me.
I like it. I like you. We don't often see space with Moon Knight and also colorful. So
And then we do have the final one, which I think we did feature ages ago when they did release the Solicits by Hawley. This pretty cool one.
oh yeah. I like that. It's
and-
a nice bastard it.
Yeah, well, it was playing with my mind. I was talking to
Those
shout
who
out to
like
Mario.
Petit. Yes.
Yeah, I was chatting to Mario, and he was talking about like that's not a lion. That's Bass, the panther.
Yeah.
There is a variant of this with a lion head
Oh,
instead of.
really?
Yeah, it's exactly the same, except that there's a lion head instead of Bass.
Interesting. You can
Yeah,
your cat.
'cause- yeah, it's very cool. I thought I was going crazy because I said I swear I saw it, but they've
You
got
think you're
two.
getting
So
old.
well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, old, like not plugging in your headphones, that kind of old.
Yeah. I think that's just having a toddler. Well, a
No,
toddler and a
yeah,
baby.
a toddler, yeah.
Just a
But
newborn.
very cool cover though. I like it. It's that
Yeah.
kind of pulpy artwork that you see from the old magazines, and it's got Layla, Amut,
Yeah, it
Khonshu,
kind of
Bess.
fits nicely with both this series and it kind of merges this and the TV show, but
Yeah,
that kind of tomb where they were.
yeah. Yep, and Moonlight looks pretty cool. So that's those are the covers that I've got. I got that from League of Comic Geeks, the website. So they're usually pretty good with all the variants. So I'm hoping haven't missed any of them. But going on to we should check out the comic now, Rebecca.
Yes, we should, because some of us are in the middle of our workday.
Yeah, exactly. So front cover and all that. It's got a really nice tribute to John Romita. Very cool at the beginning, which all the comics around this time.
Yeah, it's the same one as we saw in the What If, but
Yes,
I think they did a
yes.
really good job. And I'm not saying they did a bad job in other in other ones, but I guess they learn each time from.
Yeah.
But this one, yeah, I like this one. It's good.
hmm
Got some characters
So
he's famous for. Got a little thing about him. Got a few
yeah,
pages about his work. So
yeah, very good.
significantly added to the page count. Such of a short. Well, they're short comics, right? I'm not even
well, that's
joking. Like
true,
1 or
right?
2
Yeah,
pages is a significant increase.
yeah, yeah. Better than
Yeah.
ads. Um, so as I mentioned, we have Hearts on Fire, David Pepose, writer, penciler Marcelo Ferreira, inker J. Leisten, color artist, of course, Rachelle Rosenberg, with VC's Cory.
We're going up in riot if she ever leaves Moon Knight.
Exactly. Oh gosh, yeah. And I'm going to try and follow. I mean, whatever else she does.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it's just so good. VC's Cory Petit, letterer, and yeah, the cover artist Rod Reis, and as I mentioned, those variant covers as well. Rebecca, I don't have a synopsis, but maybe would you be able to read the
The
blurb?
one from the
Like,
actual, yeah. Moon Knight battled the criminal gang known as the Sons of the Jackal. In the midst of the conflict, a young boy named Khalil Nasser was grievously wounded, lapsing into a coma. Moon Knight used mystical means to travel to the City of the Dead to rescue Khalil's spirit. Once there, Moon Knight battles several deceased members of the Sons of the Jackal. A surprising ally came to his aid, Layla El-FOULY, his former lover, now empowered as the Scarlet Scarab. Elsewhere in the City of the Dead, Khalil is being held captive by the Jackal Knight, who gathered together several of Moon Knight's deceased enemies to form a new Legion of the Unliving.
woohoo! Oh, and
Sorry, I was giggling in the middle because I just remembered what happens at the end of this comic. It's so me.
Oh, okay. I think
Yeah.
so. With Layla, you mean Layla?
No, I mean,
No.
you'll see.
Okay.
You'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah. So this was good. I mean, first impressions, Rebecca. Just before we get into any details, what did you make of? Like, I know the first issue. You were you were leaning towards it, but you felt it was very much a setup issue. What did you think of this
Yeah, I
one?
like this one more.
Mhm,
I think we're getting somewhere.
mhm,
And a couple of like niggles, but
mhm.
yeah, overall I liked it. What about you? How did you find it?
Yeah, me too as well. I felt Proposer had really a good handle on the beats of
Yeah.
the story. Like things were like you're punched with this reveal or this bit of information or this kind of like origin and exposition. I think he did it very well and paced it very well. So it was really good. I mean, I think I just flew by like reading it. I did have one like quibble as well. We can get to that as we go to it. It's nothing too big, but it took me out a little bit from the
Hmm.
story, but it's nothing big. I mean, all the reveals, all the concepts that Proposer has instilled into this story, I think are grand. Like
I
I
did
think that.
like that this time instead of us having to double check, he told us who everyone was. I wasn't expecting that.
Oh yeah,
I was
yeah.
like getting ready. I was like,
How cool
okay,
was that?
time to work out who they all are. Get
Yeah,
ready. And then I was like, oh bless him.
yeah, and
We
such
need some more
nice.
of that sometimes. And it was done well.
Oh
It
no,
wasn't like oh, this is
yeah,
this person.
no,
It was just like and because we don't get it very often, it stood out.
mm,
Like
yeah,
because,
yeah,
like there was this kind of, oh, okay.
yeah.
It was nice. It was like this is a bit different.
I think it harked back to the kind of older classic comics
It
with the
worked
just a
really it worked very well within the way the
mm,
story's being told.
yeah,
Like it didn't feel clunky,
mm,
but also it felt kind of welcoming to people who
yeah.
don't know the comics. I think sometimes when we're generally relying on Mario to do some of the detailed research.
Let's face it.
I mean, let's face it. That's great and everything. Like when I recognize a deep dive into Iron Man, when somebody else
Yeah,
recognizes a deep dive into Spider Man, it's great. But like sometimes that can, feel a little bit like if you're new to it. And I guess one of the important things of this particular issue, this particular series, is to make it welcoming to people who have not necessarily read much Moon Knight, because they're going to
Mm.
recognize Layla. They're going to hear it's the first time that, she's been pulled into the comics in this, way.
Mhm.
And as her TV character, well, as the Scarlet Scarab's now
Mhm.
Layla. So I think there's a little bit more of a responsibility here to make it. But I didn't find that in the last one where we saw all the faces and we're like, oh, that's so. That was fine
Mhm.
because that was just like a one panel thing. I quite liked how
Yeah.
it kind of unraveled it, like the story. So
Mm. Oh, no, no, I thought it was very strong in that
yeah,
regards, and also as well, I think Pepose has really established. I mean, we know City of the Dead. Moonlight's traveled into the City of the Dead, but what I really enjoyed was getting. Well, we get mentions of all the deity, most of the deities, which is great. So it
yeah,
is really
yeah.
kind of leaning into that, and it's not just Khonshu and Anubis or whatever, or
No, and
Ammit.
it didn't feel
Um,
like ticking off a list or, oh, I better get
no,
all these people involved. It felt right. So
yeah, yeah. So what I reckon, Rebecca, because there's quite a lot here. Maybe we just focus on whatever comes to hand of like big moments, the
yeah,
key moments of this issue. Before that, though, this is the only little quibble I had with this.
yeah,
So,
go on.
apologies, David Proposer, if you're listening. It is very small. So this first page, I just felt sometimes the voicings weren't right for the character. I mean, so um, Khalil says here, so whatever your plan is, I'd start thinking of an exit strategy. I just don't see that as like a young kid talking like that.
You're
Um,
right, right.
yeah.
No, I
So
kind of agree. I
yeah.
hadn't really thought about it. It didn't register with me, but I
Okay.
don't
But
disagree that
w-
um
yeah, I mean, unfortunately, it made me then start to really
pay
focus
attention.
in on the
Yeah.
voices. Yeah, to see, okay, like, so how is Proposer treating these other characters? For the most part, I mean, they're really good. Moon Knight he has a, I don't know, I think it's not that common a voice here. I'll have to be refreshed, but I just remember thinking, okay, this is Moon Knight. He sounds a little different from what we're used to with Jed McKay. So I just feel maybe the voicings just need to be maybe fine tuned a little bit. And that was again just off the back of only this opening scene,
Bless
but
you.
unfortunately it stood out
It's
because
all
of
right because
yeah.
page two is where my slight quibble is.
Oh,
And
okay,
I
yeah,
think I think mine I'm prepared to totally ignore because it's the
okay,
nature of retcons. And like the idea that if Mark has been in endless regret about what happened with Layla and we've never heard about it till now.
yeah, I get you. Yeah, 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 yeah,
So like I said, totally it did make me go, yeah, sure. Like, yeah, sure you have. You never mentioned it before. Um
yeah,
uh but within what the comic is trying to do, which
yeah,
is retcon her in, I'm
yeah.
totally okay with it. I'll buy it. I'll chuckle about it. And in
Mm,
the same way as with the what if was like, what if Mark dies? It's like he always dies.
yeah.
Um, you know, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's
Yeah, it'd be just too hard to really. I mean, what do
you
you do? I
can't.
mean,
I
what
mean, you
can you?
can't
Yeah,
because you
exactly.
either make her mean nothing to him or
Mm,
be a new character and have none of that connection. I think this is a happy medium where
yeah,
sometimes picky comic readers just need to shut up and get on with it, like, and just go like, but I mean it didn't take me out of anything else because I
no,
realized it's me going like
yeah,
reacting to it like that.
yeah. No,
And
that's
no,
fair.
yeah,
Like
it's totally fine with it. But
yeah,
now we've got our little quibbles out of the way where
yeah, yeah,
in and
exactly.
ready. Let's see what's
Yeah.
talking to
S-
us.
so the big moment I thought, of course, was explaining. Like we saw Scarlet Scarab introduced last issue. And we get the reason why she's in the City of the Dead, how it came about. A lot of it was tied in with Tawaret as well, which we know from the TV show. So there's a nice tie in there.
Yep, that
But I
worked
think,
very well.
yeah, it worked really well. And I think for the most part, I'm just going to jump through to it because
And
I don't want
also, can I just say, after quibbling about the art, I
to.
like the art for Layla a lot. There wasn't that weird stance like there was last
Mm,
time, so this worked better for me. Um,
It was good. I felt a little bit again, like picky readers here. I felt Mark looked a little weird in some
they
instances. Like,
both looked. I mean, look, there's a lot. We're not used to it, and we're getting used to it.
mm,
And you
it kind
know,
of reminded me. It reminded me of actually, in a good way, of Paul Anderson.
hmm
So loonies will remember him towards the end of the Bemis run. And he's very much like an independent underground kind of comic book artist, a really kind of vibe like that. And so you have kind of like a gangly Moon Knight, and his limbs are slightly elongated. He
yeah,
looks
yeah.
very lean. I don't know, just some of it really. There's this one. I'm alluding to a visual on screen here. Looney's when Moon Knight and Layla are taking on Ramesses. But yeah, he just I had a double take and look at him going, hang on, where's his legs? What's he doing? It's like, oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. But taking nothing away, Ferreira is an
I really
awesome
love the art
artist.
on the
Yeah.
cover, the title there though, beautiful.
Yes. Oh yeah, no,
And to be honest, all
exactly.
the writing in the background as well, beautiful. That's
Oh, it's
null,
good,
by
isn't
the
it?
way,
It's oh,
saying
hello,
hi,
Noel.
hi.
Hey, 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 hey. Hope Noel, you're going to get spoiled here if you're a bit behind. I know you might be a bit behind. So, but yeah, look at the colors, so
Oh,
awesome.
I
This
love
is
the colours. Yeah,
typical Rachelle. And I love the font, like Hearts on Fire. It's
yeah, it's
just like a very
really
kind of
nice.
casual.
A little bit
Yeah,
shaky, really
a
nice.
bit shaky. Yeah. So, well, let me just click on here. So Layla's, I thought one of the big things here was this sepia kind of flashback exposition, and
I
I and
thought that
I
was very clever use of the sepia. Yeah,
yeah, and again, I think Proposer does it really well here. It goes along without without dragging it out or without overstaying.
yeah. We have a very
Um,
serious looking towerette there. Not,
Very cool. And
I
yeah,
like
not the
that a lot. I
giggly.
like nah, but I like that as well. And the panel
Yeah.
before that is like really good. Of all the gods and
Mm, yep. Very reminiscent again of the TV show that the Hall.
yeah,
What do you,
yeah,
in was
yeah,
it
yeah, yeah.
Giza? Yeah.
And then on the next
Um,
page, there's a really clever thing where you get Mark
yes.
now, Mark and Layla now, Mark and Layla and Sepia.
Hmm. Yeah,
Um,
very good. But we get the I guess the reveal that obviously the Scarlet Scarab given by Talweret is the thing. Oh, we get it later actually about what she can do because her powers are a bit different here.
yeah, yeah,
Which is cool. But yeah, it's a beautiful kind of callback to the past and the present. They're striking the same pose.
yeah, really
Uh,
clever.
but they're basically shaking down this thug like Ramses in the city of the dead, trying to find
Yeah.
um, like people, and he's got his own Ushabtis as well, which again is a nice little
y-
callback to. Well, it's not only the TV show, but it has been
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, it's been made. We've been made aware of it through the TV show. So
Oh, this
uh,
is pretty, yeah, bad. This is where it gets a bit more horror. Get to find out what's going on.
yeah, this was a good and
I
talking
like
about
this.
another
Yeah,
big moment. What a reveal! Like it's
yeah,
worse than death. Like this kid.
yeah. It's taking their
Um,
hearts, and this isn't even Khalil. It's like, oh, there's more
mm,
of them.
yeah, and this is great because you're kind of wondering. Like we know again the concept of judging and the scales of
Hmm
justice and the heart. So we're slowly getting from Proposer this reveal of what will eventuate in the end, and it's. I thought it was such a cool idea. Like,
Yeah, yeah. I quite like this one.
yeah, so, again, this is spoiler filled, listeners, so, please cover your ears if you don't wanna be spoiled, but yeah, basically, we have, a son of the jackal, um, getting by using the hearts
Yeah,
of
he's getting
children
them to weigh
to
the hearts of children.
yeah, which is
Uh,
so
Which I would have
kinda
thought made them more innocent, but like it'll do.
yeah.
Maybe they're more balanced. But I guess he just wants to be on the good side. So
Yeah. Uh, sorry. Yeah, Noel's here. I'm way behind, so I'm not really listening to your words. Excellent, Noel. But
good
just the
plan.
beautiful
Good plan.
sounds of your voices. Okay.
Listening to the words will only mess you up.
Yeah, exactly. Um, but yeah, so it was, yeah,
I
it's a bit
like how
strange with the kid.
Mark realizes straight away what's going on though. Like
Mm, I just put two and two together. Yeah.
you
Oh,
can feel
again.
the wrath of Khonshu threatening to boil over. Go on, do it.
Yeah.
Do it,
And
Khonshu.
I love it. The only thing, the first reaction is let's just go find these bastards and put
Yeah,
them down. Whereas Layla's a little bit more kind of, I guess, thoughtful
yeah,
as to what to do. But it's cool. It's really good to see. Um, and the other big moment as well, Rebecca, is the Legion of the
yeah.
Unliving, and we get a little montage, I guess it is, of
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 them
each
all,
and
yeah.
every one of them.
And how
Yeah,
what Moon Knight did to kill
yes, to each of
or
them.
yeah,
I made a big mistake. I thought it ended up being a Master Sniper, which is such a deep dive. I love it.
yeah,
It's from
yeah,
the Mensch run in the teens somewhere. I'm pretty sure maybe Noel was on the show when we reviewed it. But that was when Moon Knight was in Switzerland, of all
yeah.
places. He met him. I thought it was Arsenal, and I thought Arsenal would have been
Oh, yeah, that
funny.
would have been cool, but the Master Sniper's really, really
Master
cool.
Sniper's pretty good as well. But they've all met their demise, like cleverly. They've all
Yeah.
been killed
I
by
mean, he
Moon
hasn't
Knight.
killed them all. He just left some. He's left a couple of them to
Well,
die,
he's
and then
yeah,
some
and
of
I'm
them he's
pretty sure
killed.
they
So
yeah. I mean, with Taurus,
no, but there is a difference between like watching him die
oh
and
yeah, yeah,
leaving him to die in a collision and
yeah,
dropping a
letting
shipping container on
yeah,
him.
exactly, yeah, exactly. There's a difference between letting
Yeah,
something take its
there's some
course
active and
and
some passive murder there.
yeah,
Manslaughter, I'm sure.
yes. I do love Plasma as well because
Yeah,
I've probably told the story to you heaps of times as well, but that was one of the first comics I read as well. Marvel Comics Presents 31 and 32. It had Plasma in it and Havoc in there as well, and I think Wolverine. It was really cool. So that is a very deep dive. Of course, Chainsaw. A shout out to Rick, the Rick Ball. I think he's a big fan of Chainsaw. Um, we have Midnight,
Midnight.
Jeff Wild.
And we've left the big ones, Black Spectrum, Midnight. We left them till
Oh
last.
yeah, yeah, Black Spectre. It's so funny. I was half expecting Moon Knight to explain that he's killed Black Spectre a couple of times
Yeah.
already, but he just leaves it at him throwing off a building, which is true. But so yeah, so this was really fun to watch, and for
Mhm.
again, I think it's really even more satisfying, dare I say, for the long term fans because you do recognize these characters,
Yeah.
and I think for new readers, it's fun because it kind of gives you like a little bit of an
Gives
origin
you a
to these
sense of yeah,
villains.
and also a
Yeah,
sense to
yeah,
like that he kills, that Mark's not
yeah.
a doesn't have a no kill uh
Mm.
belief
He's
system.
not like some other
No,
superheroes, Rebecca.
I mean I would not compare him to anyone, as you know.
We forgot to mention, I think, because we've jumped a bit and we're going to and fro with the pages. So Layla's Scarlet Scarab's new power is she can alter like the architecture. Is
Yeah.
that?
In
Yeah.
the in the duats, in the City of the Dead at least.
Yes. Well, of course, because everything's not really like as it is. The physics
Yes.
aren't the same here. So she makes a escape tunnel for all the children who literally have holes in their chests. They're just, um, husks of their former selves. But so she's leading them away. But Moon Knight takes the brunt of the force.
Yeah. But also
And
in the end can't help Moon Knight, so
yeah, and I love the look of so Ferreira, the facial expression of Moon Knight there as he reaches out to Layla, like
Mhm.
saying, "Come on, help me! I'm being overwhelmed here by." He's being beaten,
Beaten up.
to a
Yeah.
pulp. Yeah. But yeah, so and then you have that shot of a low perspective. She's just flying off and say, "I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I
Yeah.
can't
I
really help
wish I
you."
could have saved you as well. So it was like someone's always bound to get hurt. Um
Yeah.
yeah, and then we get to the fun page.
The fun. Oh, actually, just before that, Rebecca,
Yeah.
I do love also the little tidbits. So Pepose adds in like what happened in Damascus, and so you get really like a bleak past for Mark. Like
You
he'd
do
been
get
tortured. He
I
goes,
mean, but you also get more of a
yeah,
sense of them being together and stuff like
yes,
that,
yeah,
and like,
yeah,
and then anyway, so the next, yeah, so here you get the whole. If you are new to Moon Knight, you get to find out that he's not scared of pain,
hmm
whatever. He's quite used to being
yeah.
beaten up. Clearly, uh,
I'm
yeah,
I, I'm terrible here, Rebecca. I I thought. I thought the big reveal as the guy's taking his hat off, like his helmet off.
Uh-huh.
I thought it was Midnight, Jeff Wild. I totally forgot he was already in the the Legion of the Unliving. It's like,
I think
oh,
I
okay,
got.
he's Jeff.
I
He's
think I
Jeff.
got it the minute he said the one face that was conspicuous by its absence when it wasn't
Yeah,
Bushman. Um,
true. Yeah, yeah.
because I mean, like, but then I'm always thinking of this
I
person.
just went.
I'm always
Yeah.
thinking Randall. Like, I always do.
Yes.
Yeah. So the Jackal Knight is now Randall. So now we've got back to that
And
as
shout out
a
to Moon. Yeah,
yeah.
shout out to Moonlight Core. I know they love Randall Spector,
They
so
love him. They it's such a
yeah, they
treat for them. I mean, like this
yeah,
must be
yeah.
their day. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, we disagree on that.
yeah.
But I
Look at the
get,
art.
I fully respect them. Get their point.
Mm.
Especially after I did that big reread of all the very few Randall issues there are. He's horrible.
But yeah, I mean, I just love the art. He must have
I'm
been
big
fashioned
into the
after
whole
someone.
brothers like
Oh
rivalry thing. I
yeah.
mean, like I think I've said it before. I think most of the Randall stories have been terrible. Um,
Mm.
but
Did
there is
Tony
such
Stark?
potential there that
Did
I
Tony Stark? Sorry, Tony Stark have a brother? Is it Arno, or was is he from
Tony
a
has
like a?
like several. I mean, no,
Oh, he
depends
does.
on the
Oh,
universe. He has Greg in one universe
yeah.
and Arno in another one.
Arno.
So
Yeah,
Arno,
Arno's the
but
one I know.
Arno's
Yeah.
the birth son of the Starks, and Tony's adopted in that universe.
Okay.
Yes.
Ah,
So I
yeah.
don't know why we suddenly talk about. I do like brotherly rivalry. It's perfect. It's
Yes,
great.
well, that was a yeah, yeah.
Tony gets on with Arno currently.
Oh, does he?
But
Okay.
Arno's not been really around much. But like the last time was them kind of working together. So
Was
if we
that in
did,
Slot's run, was it?
uh, I think they were in some panels together. Yeah. You
Okay,
just have
yeah.
to ignore Iron Man 2020 that came out in 2020. But I would suggest that anyway.
Yeah.
Because it was not as good as the original 2020, which was Arno. Um, so yeah, but
2020.
I
Okay.
just think there's such potential to the whole Mark Randall thing, and I think
Yeah.
because he's always been this kind of like women abusing murderer, weirdo, mad, crazy, that it's not really been explored properly or
Mm,
as well as it
yeah.
could be. Because I think uh, yeah, I think he's got fairly short shrift, Randall.
I think that there's a yeah, I mean, I see a lot of potential in him as well.
Yeah.
I think it's so I'm very excited to see where Proposer takes him because
I think this I did kind of giggle like when he took the mask off and I was like, "Oh, this is it. Like we're back. We're back to Randall." We should have
yeah.
known because Jackal, Randall, A's are in the same
Uh,
place. Ends with an L.
Jeez,
Should have
yeah.
known.
Oh yeah, of course. It's spelled out literally.
Was
Um,
clues were all there.
the clues are there. But it's exciting because they are in the duet, so he's not like
Yeah, it's not
he
like you're
could
bringing
be
him back
different.
to life. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll see what happens. I'm excited actually about
Yeah.
what the final three issues. I mean, we're only just barely
Yeah, I got very
halfway will be next
confused
issue.
about whether it was
Yeah,
4 or 5, and then somebody reminded me it was 5. I was like, "It's 4,
yeah.
isn't it?" Um,
Oh, it's gonna be so cool.
yeah.
I'm enjoying it. I think the artwork's great. I know one of a longtime loonies, Josh Geronimo. He was saying that he really enjoyed this actually, currently more than the regular series. So a lot of people are,
Interesting.
yeah, they're giving it. I mean, I guess it's that kind of Egyptology kind of bent. That
Yeah, and the
yeah,
current series is kind of working towards, like, it's in a little bit of a slower period, I would say.
yes, yeah,
Um,
it definitely is building towards something.
yeah.
The regular, but this one, since it's only got 5 issues, it's really going like at a really good
Yeah.
pace, I think. So I guess we'll see what eventuates. Ratings, Rebecca, have you given
What
it
did I give
any
the
thought as
last
to?
one? 7?
I think you gave a 7. I think it was a 7.
Uh, 7.5, 8? Yeah, somewhere up
I'll
there.
be happy. Yeah, I'll be happy to give it a 7.5 as well.
Yeah.
You're gonna give it an 8?
Yeah, maybe nudging up to 8. it's got Randall
Yeah.
in. It gets an extra.
And the art is great. I mean,
The art's
apart from the
great. You know,
yeah,
we're not necessarily used to it, so
no.
you
It's
know,
just so
as
different
we
because yeah,
as we found out when we went to Moon Knight 1 with Capuccio, some of it is
yeah.
getting used to seeing the characters drawn that way. But there's no standout
Mm,
page that I didn't like.
no.
There's
But this
the
it's
colors
yeah.
are credible, the lettering's great. So I
Yeah.
mean, like, I overall I like the art. I mean, is it my
Oh, me too.
favorite? Maybe not, but
Yeah.
I've seen a lot worse.
Yeah, exactly. It just what strikes me as well is that if you look at this last page, and particularly, I'm just drawn to Randall's face.
Yeah.
It's so different to the art in the. This was obviously there's a lot of care put in this final reveal page.
There's also a lot of
s-
background detail and stuff which I really like, that we don't always
yeah,
get. The costumes
yep.
on the Legion of the Unliving,
Oh,
there's
there's a
some
lot.
there's some
There's a lot.
really nice stuff. I love the play with the color, but just there's a lot going on. It's a very dynamic story. There's a lot of action.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I think there's some very clever art in there. So please, I'm not dissing the art by saying got to get used
Yeah,
to it. Just got to get used to it.
loony listeners. I urge seven and a half, 8 from Rebecca and myself. Yeah, so go check it out. Um, and we might have to cut this short, Rebecca.
Yeah,
Just
let's go.
after
Let's
this.
go. You get going.
Um, so everybody, thank you for listening. As always, keep tuned. We're going to be back soon to
We'll
talk
be
with Jed
back very
McKay later in the
soon.
week.
Don't worry.
Yes.
You won't miss us.
As always, may Khonshu watch over the denizens of the night. I'll catch you all later. See you, Rebecca.
Bye.
Moon Knight and affiliated characters, stories and events are properties of Marvel Characters Incorporated. Materials used and discussed within the podcast are intended for critique and review purposes only under the fair dealing concept of the current Copyright Act. The views, information or opinions expressed during the podcast are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent those of the copyright owners.